Good. So I'm going to tab out of edit mode so that I can see better. And the next thing I will do now is I would like to add some heels to this area here. So I can just do so by tabbing again into edit mode and hiding a few things, because we just want to affect only the surface area. So remember what we did: go to the front view, go to X-ray mode, and go to vertex select, select this area and click on H to hide. And since we already have this vertex group, we can select the pool base, go to select, and also go to the pool edge and select, then click on H to hide. So now we have only this surface here that we can easily work with. So the next thing I will do is, of course, I want to tab out of the X-ray mode. I can now go ahead to work on the surface here to add some heels. If I were to select one vertex and let's say I wanted to move it up by tapping on G, you see that it's only that vertex that is selected, and it's not necessarily giving this heely effect. In fact, it's looking like a pyramid. So one way to affect the surrounding vertices is by using proportional editing. Now the proportional editing tool can be accessed by clicking on this circular icon here, and once you click on it, and let's try it again, click on G, and now we can see a big circle. Now this circle is somewhat like the circle of influence. So let's say this guy wanted to move to the Z-axis, it's going to carry the other guys along. So that's how it works for proportional editing. So let's now go ahead to add some heels to it. So let's say we clicked on this area, clicked on G, confined it to the Z-axis, and we can increase or decrease the circle of influence by using our scroll wheel. So let's do that. So we can go around and increase that heely effect everywhere. So a quick way to add some roughness to this surface is by going to this drop down here beside the proportional editing, and you can see that there are different effects you can give to that surface. In this case, I need to go to the random mode, so that if I select a vertex and I move it up, let's say G, Z, you can see this time it's not as smooth as the other effects it was given. So you can scroll out a bit and add that roughness to the area, but I don't want it to be so sharp, so I will just move it up a bit, and this is what we'll just do for this area. So let's do that again. G, Z, let's scroll in a bit. Good. And if you tab out of edit mode and you look around, you see that it has this nice rough face to it. And one final thing I will do is I will select everything, click on A, and there's a way to even increase the sharpness for this face that has been made rough. And if you look closely, you see that they are actually squares, but it seems like I can draw a line in between, and it's going to give me this sharp edge to it. And you can apply that effect on the entire surface by triangulating the plane that has been selected. So to triangulate the surface, I can just go to face and triangulate faces, and you can see that it can draw a line in between that that square face, and it will recalculate the direction for that face, adding some sharp edges to it. So if we were to tab out of edit mode, you can see the fine roughness it's giving it as well. Good. So we've been able to create a nice looking effect for the ground, and now we can go ahead to add the water body with the same concept. So I'll just do that quickly and you can follow along. So I will go to the top view, and remember, we've been able to learn a lot of quick steps. Moving the cursor over here, I will add a new plane, Shift A, add plane, and I will size it up. I'll constrain it to the Z-axis, Shift C to size it up a bit, S to scale on the Y-axis, and I can also check what I'm doing further by going to the X-ray mode, going to the front view. So I'll just go to G and X, click on Shift, move it a bit. Then now I can extrude the face. I'll tab into edit mode, click on 3 and go to E and extrude it up a bit. Let's say the water surface stops about here. So that should look good. So now I see that there are so many things going on, and it might not allow me to see just this object clearly. And if I do not want to always go to my scene collection, I can just click on the / and it will refocus only that selected object to my view, hiding the rest in the viewport. So of course I want to rename this as water, and I'll tab into edit mode. So I have this top surface selected. I'll do the same thing I did for the ground, so you can just watch along or try it out yourself. Subdivide the surface, same, okay, and I can go to the front view, hide this bottom area here because I just want to affect only that area. Then once I do that, I can now hide it. Click on H to hide. So I'll do something a bit different in the sense that I will displace the surface not using the proportional editing but using a modifier. To do so, I will click on A to select everything, create a new vertex group and call this water. Then I'll assign it to that. You can check. Then you can now tab out of the edit mode and click on / to get everything back to your view. And we can now go to the modifier here, that's the modifier tab, while the water body is selected, and go to add modifier, and this time we want to use the displace modifier. And the first thing we want to do is to assign this displacement modifier to the vertex group we created. So we can click on this vertex group section here, and you see that we have the water vertex group. So we will now go over to creating a new texture for what we just created, and as you clicked on it, you would see some funny deformations to that surface, but not to worry. We would go to the properties texture tab here by clicking on this icon, and it's currently set to image or movie, and that's because you can actually import a new texture to displacing a surface, but in this case we want to work with some preset textures. So we'll click on the drop down here and we can go to clouds. So once we go to clouds, you can see that it has assigned this rough texture, and you can see the preview of what's going on here, and I think I like what it's given. You can actually come to this section here for the noise size to rescale it, or you know, shake up the displacement. However, I think I like the figure that I got before, so I'm good to go with that. You can also work on the depth at which it's affecting that surface, but I think we're fine with that. We can go back to the modifier and work on the strength. Let's tone it down a bit. Let's say, yeah, we want the water surface to be this. Yeah, so I think I like this effect I'm getting for the water surface. So now we've been able to learn how to modify surfaces, add the roughness using the proportional editing or using the displacement modifier, and now we can go ahead to add in some more features.